Good morning, everyone. It's another beautiful day here in Vermont. Beautiful morning, I should say. It's going to be warm today because it's already warm. Looks like it's going to be a sunny day, but yesterday was kind of cloudy as well. It's been sunny ever since I took the Nero to go into Bennington. And Nero ended up turning into a few more zeros, though. As I have been fighting off a good old tick bite Lyme disease. Pretty sure Lyme, at least, has not been proven yet or confirmed, but I've been on the doxycycline for the last few days and had some pretty high fever and aches and good old amount of misery for a few days. I'll push through a lot of things, pains and aches and soreness and ankles and knees and broken backs and everything else, but not fevers, especially when it's hot out. That is a recipe for not goodness. So definitely wanted to rest and start getting on the mend before heading back out here. So feeling a lot better now, but not gonna lie, not feeling 100% yet, and still on the doxycycline. So I know that can be heat and sun sensitive as well. So I will be keeping an eye on that today. Just keeping an eye on all my health, to be honest. I do every day anyway. Always keep an eye on my body and listen to my body, but definitely not 100% yet. So I want to keep an eye on that, make sure I'm not relapsing or something. But back on the trail, that's the good news. Gonna be pushing through today to at least one summit, possibly a couple, and see what happens. Just gonna keep pushing through and kind of not really take my time, but be careful and cautious and make sure that I'm doing things right for my body to continue to mend. Because it was definitely a doozy over the last several days. What was supposed to be a Nero ended up laying me up for a little bit of time. So glad to be back on trail. Glad to be out here in the forest listening to the birds instead of inhaling air conditioner and hearing cars go by and eating junk food or town food, whichever way you want to look at it. This is the point of the Thru-Hike in which I'm really, really, really tired of food. And I just want, town food, restaurant food. I just want some good home cooked food. Kind of getting to that point now. So enough about me. How have you been? All right, so gonna have a good day today, regardless, and do some conquering. Let's get it going. First climb of the day is done, and it's about 1.5 miles and 1,100 feet. I was getting kind of winded and heart was pounding fast, but definitely sweating. And I'm like, man, I'm really weak. I'm having trouble getting up this first hill, but I didn't know it was 1,100 feet in 1.5 miles. So that explains it. It was steep. I normally obviously wouldn't get that winded or something like that because I live for that kind of stuff. The sweat, yeah, it's pretty swampy and no wind out here. So, that makes sense. But I'm definitely a little weak. Like I said, I'm not 100% yet, but I pushed through that first one, so that's nothing but positive vibes there for the rest of the day. Coming up out of Bennington or State Route 7, you got to climb back up where you descended the day before. Well, in this case, several days before. But that's definitely positive. Feeling good after that. Just kind of cruising ridge line right now. It's not muddy or anything in this area, so that's good. Kind of get some good momentum going, hopefully. Make up for how slow I did that. I didn't really go slow. I just slower than I normally would, and I wanted to be consistent. I didn't want to stop and have to keep taking breaths or anything, because obviously this is how I check myself. I know my pace, I know my heart rates, and I don't know the beats per minute per se. I just know, to the touch what it's supposed to be and so forth. I just know my own body. That's all I'm saying. So I know when I need to pull back a little bit. And, obviously being weak today, I wanted to pull back a little bit on that first incline, and worked out well. Definitely had me winded, definitely had me worn out, but I made it through. And first conquering point of the day is over. It wasn't a summit, but still a conquering moment anyway, because those last few days were kind of rough. So I feel good. That just brings my positivity and faith, so to speak, up even more. So it's going to be a great day. This is the office for right now. Bright, lush, green. What else would you expect in the Green Mountain State? Entering the Glastenbury Wilderness in the Green Mountain National Forest. Glastenbury Wilderness, which has Glastenbury Mountain, which is the next summit I'll be going up in about 7 or 8 miles. From the way I understand it, not a whole lot of views up there unless you climb the fire tower. So hopefully the fire tower is in good enough condition for me to climb, because I don't mind climbing fire towers as long as, well, they're not being used at that moment, or more importantly, that they're built good. Because I love to be up high. I don't love to be up high on man-made things, though. That's kind of a deal with me, a deal breaker. I trust nature, I trust rocks, I trust mountains. I don't trust man-made things. Like ladders, they're not my favorite thing. I actually had a really bad fear of ladders when I was a kid. I'd get like to the 3rd rung. My dad would put me up there and I'd freeze up. Couldn't get up or down. It was horrible. I don't know what it was, just the tipsiness of it, I guess. It's funny because I love roller coasters. I love all kinds of things up high. I'm not afraid of heights. I just don't like tipsy things up high. It's kind of weird, which probably means I'm more afraid of falling than I am anything. And I feel confident I'm not going to fall off a mountain because I'm walking on a mountain, I guess. I don't know. It's weird how the brain thinks. I always overcome and take my fears head on, but I will admit, ladders are still not one of my favorite things to ever be on. But sometimes you got to. I know there will be some ladders coming up on some of the rocks. I know there's 1 or 2 or maybe more here in Vermont, but there's some, I believe, in New Hampshire as well. I've already went through some like man-made or rhubarb, whatever. Rebarb, not rhubarb. What am I talking about? Rhubarb is a pie, a really disgusting pie, but it's a pie nonetheless. But I digress. At least those are bolted into the rock, so I trust those a little more than just a tipsy little ladder being leaned against a wall or a roof or something. All right, let's talk about God-made things instead of man-made things, like this beautiful trail, these beautiful trees and greenery, and wonder if I'll get to see a Henry today in this beautiful forest. Up to a total of 3 so far for the year, but haven't really got to be around any yet, just hanging out. They're always so far this year been running from me, which is abnormal. Normally it's a few of them that run, and most of them are just hanging out, eating, and not worried or afraid of me at all, because they know I'm not going to hurt them. You know, they don't look me up and down and try to feel threatened or feel like they need to bluff charge me or anything like that. But so far this year, they've been all afraid of me, and before I even get close to them. So hopefully I'll see some more and they won't be quite as afraid. All right, going to continue on here, this beautiful journey through Vermont and the Green Mountain State. About 6 miles in and about 2,300 in elevation. I'm still kicking. I'm not doing so good though. Not doing bad. I don't feel like I'm gonna pass out or anything like that, but I'm definitely weak. It's not being 100%. Whew. It's definitely less than 100% by quite a bit, I think. Ended up having a splitting headache, so I took some Excedrin. I'm hoping that helps that. It usually does. I get a lot of headaches, so that doesn't necessarily mean that's anything to do with anything else except for just maybe the stresses that the bodies went through or a change in the barometric pressure or pretty much anything like that. But it's been pretty much all climbing so far today. Not too much flat. I think one little section of downhill so far. That's about it. This next overlook that's coming up here soon. Here's a little one here. Oh no, maybe this is the one that I had seen. Not much of one. Pretty good view though for some haziness and such going on. But that overlook is about 3,000 feet up in elevation. So came basically from 600 down to 3,000. So it's been pretty much up the whole time. And actually I take that back. I think it was 1,100 feet where I started. So it was about 1,900. So that means probably descended 400 or 500. And then, made up for that because total ascension so far is about 2,500 at this point. So, yeah, about 3,000 foot up right now. That's not affecting my head. Definitely used to much higher elevation than that. So, just the aftermath of the last few days. Very hard on the body. Had one really rough night, for sure. uncontrollable shaking. It was just uncontrollable shaking. It was pretty rough, pretty high fever a couple of those days. And I know people like to diagnose when they hear things on my channel. No need for that. I know what it is, or know what it was. And I'm on antibiotics for it. And just the nature of the beast. The tick is the most dangerous animal out here in these woods, in the mountains, for sure. Gotta be careful. Even though you can be careful, still get a tick bite that causes Lyme. So hopefully it was early on, even though it's not 100% confirmed or anything. I don't see anything else it could be myself. And the antibiotics are helping. But obviously in the middle of that right now. So they obviously haven't done their whole job yet. So hopefully it was done early. So it takes care of everything with the doxycycline that I'm taking, and I don't have to take another course of it, hopefully. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep getting belchy when I'm on the camera here, but it's not bad today. I mean, the terrain is awesome, the weather is awesome, it's warm, but obviously the more you struggle with something, the more you're going to sweat and everything, and I'm definitely struggling today, but that's what makes somebody strong, pushing through. Obviously, I'm not going to push through to a point of danger or life-threatening or something serious, but I'm pushing through as much as I can push through. And it's rough, but I'm going to do it as much as I can. And if I need to stop and rest, I'll stop and rest. Glastenbury Mountain is next, and that's in about 3.5 to 4 miles to the summit. So I'm going to keep on climbing. I think that one's about 3,800 feet of elevation to that summit. So got a little bit more to go in climbing to get up there, but at least a lot of it so far today is in the forest. So I'm not in the sun too much, because that is one side effect of doxycycline, the antibiotic for Lyme, is very sensitive to sunlight. So I don't know if that's going to be true with me, but I'm not really out here to experiment to find out. So only going to be in the sun when needed today, and continue on and hopefully get some great views and keep on conquering. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. Got to tighten this backpack. It's making a weird squeaky noise. There's a shelter here close to the summit. I just stopped there. There was a little water spring, or pipe spring, I should say, water right in front of the shelter. So I stopped there and filled up. The little bugs are insane right now. I don't even think they were mosquitoes, but they all were landing on me and biting me. I didn't know gnats bit. I'm itchy now, that's for sure. Getting close to the summit here. and still struggling, not gonna lie, but pushing through strong. Right at 10 miles right now, about 3,500 feet of elevation. So nice amount of incline so far in those first 10 miles of the day. I think coming from here to Stratton Mountain, the in-between of that is about 14, 16 miles, something like that. Definitely not as much elevation until you start climbing Stratton, so might get a little reprieve on my poor heart and lungs, which are struggling today because they're not feeling up to what they normally feel. But keep pushing on to this first summit of the day. See you at the top. Well, that's rude. Closed to public use. Oh, wow. Can't even be a rebel if I wanted to, because right down there is the piece that would connect to this. That's just rude. Oh, can you believe that? Can't even get to the top to see the views from here. Freaking rude. Could camp right here, but I'm not going to. Oh well. Standing on the summit of Glastenbury Mountain, all socked in with trees. They have a tower here. It's climbable except for that piece down there, not connected to the first or second level to climb up it, and it's padlocked and chained, and they have a sign saying closed to public use. Freaking rude. I wanted to see the views. Probably pretty epic from up there. Oh well, not much you can do, but it's beautiful trees nonetheless, and thousands of bugs. Glastenbury Mountain is in the bag. This little section of forest here is quite cool looking. The rocks and the water below, then these kind of trees mixed in with the pines. Really dark area, rocks on trail, just a lot of different colors and textures and depth going on. Really beautiful. Helps cool it down a little bit too, which definitely helps me right now. But definitely a flatter area here, descending, still descending a little bit, but kind of flattened out. Very, very beautiful section of forest, if I say so myself. Almost 13 miles in. Just little ups and downs lately. The 22-mile mark is where the campsite that I'll probably set up tonight. Might go past that, I don't know. Pretty depleted. Stomach's pretty upset. Drinking plenty of water, staying hydrated, but body's just really weak and worn down today. But I should get about 22 miles in by the end of the day. If not, a few more if I get a second wind. It's warm and there's hardly any breeze. That does not help the situation at all. And a lot of rocks right now that hasn't been there really too much in Vermont. Not that that's a bad thing, but when your joints are kind of sore and achy already, definitely slows the process, so to speak. So just keeping going right now. It's a grind day. Even the summit didn't have that many views, and the views that are supposed to be views aren't really views. So there's that. See how it goes for the rest of the day, but you're gonna keep pushing forward. Really no other option if I want to get to Katahdin. Can't just stop. Can't go backwards. So I gotta keep pushing forward and see how things are going. And if I need to get back off trail and rest up a little bit more, or if rest tonight will make me feel better for in the morning, because again, I might just be weak from the process of being sick. Definitely not feeling well though, but I just don't know if these are lingering symptoms or if I'm still not feeling well or completely over it. Well, I'm not completely over it, obviously, because still on the antibiotics, so it hasn't run its course yet. So just going to keep going with that and keep pushing forward. And if I need to stop, get some rest, and I'll stop and get some rest. Hopefully that rain is wrong tomorrow, like an inch of rain, and we'll be going up Stratton tomorrow, which is kind of a rocky ascent, so that might be fun. But cross that bridge, or cross that mountain, I should say, when I get to it. Right now, just going to keep on going for today and see how far I can get. Stopped at a shelter to take a little break. It's called Kid Gore Shelter. About a 500 feet descent coming down to it, or to the little side trail. I think it goes 200 feet down. This is pretty cool though. This is out front of the shelter, and you got a nice little view. I don't know if I can see it here. Right there. I think that's Snow Mountain. Best view I think I've had today. Nice little shelter though, but I'm just gonna sit and hopefully cool down a little bit. Stomach being upset, just really tired, worn out. Need to catch my breath a little before going on. So tired. Y'all aren't used to seeing me like this, I know. It'll be all right. See, catch my bearings, get strong again. Little by little. All right, gotta take a break here. Head on out. All right, heading back to trail after that nice little 10 or 15 minute break. A little longer than I would have liked it, but it felt good to be in the shelter and have a little bit of breeze coming through there. Definitely helped cool me down some. Me and a chipmunk had a conversation. Don't really know where things were left though. Mainly because I didn't understand anything that chipmunk was saying. But it's time to get back on the trail and apparently climb over a bunch of rocks here. Boy, I must have been tired and not feeling well when I came here because I don't remember all those rocks. That's kind of funny. But anyway, getting back on the trail and heading north. See how far I get today before setting up camp. Woohoo! You have smooth sections of trail and then rooty, rocky sections of trail. Just a lot of little ups and downs right now. I'm about 2 miles from the next shelter, and I've decided I'm going to stop there instead of continuing on to the campsite. I prefer stealth camping over camping at shelters, but I'm going to go ahead and do that because I've had enough for today. That'll put me at about 18 and a half or something. Quite a bit less than what I normally do, but that's okay. Not feeling great at all. Hoping some rest tonight will get me feeling better tomorrow. Stomach is just really upset. Had to keep stopping because I almost feel like I'm gonna vomit or something. And I don't want that to happen. That never works out well for me. Staying hydrated as much as I can, but obviously I'm ill or getting over an illness, either one. And sometimes that'll cause you to be a little more dehydrated than usual. Anyway, wearing me out even talking, so show you the trail. And probably wrap it up when I get to the shelter. Another nice sized beaver bog. Not holding my breath for any beavers though. Almost to the shelter. I can't get there quick enough. I'll just put it that way. So this would probably be the time I'd see a beaver because I don't have to stop and take video and pictures and stuff. Here at the shelter. Just sitting in here right now. Just got here, put my backpack down there. There's one other gentleman over there. Some tent sites back there that I'm going to set up in. Way back there. But right now I just need to sit down, catch my breath. Rough day, but 18 and a half miles are in the bag. And I'm ready to rest and go to bed. I'm going to shock you here, but I'm not even hungry. I'm not right if I'm not hungry. Live life. See you tomorrow.